The message arrived on a Tuesday morning. It came through every communication channel humanity possessed. Radio waves, quantum relays, satellite feeds, and even old television broadcasts suddenly displayed the same transmission. A massive holographic face appeared in the skies above every major city on Earth. The face belonged to High Arbiter Vox of the Galactic Consortium. His pale blue skin stretched tight over angular bones, and his 6 eyes blinked in perfect synchronization as he spoke. "Humans of Earth," the message began, "you have been observed. Your species has developed faster than light travel without permission. This is a violation of Consortium Law 793. You are hereby summoned to appear before the Council of 12. Send your diplomats to the neutral station at coordinates we are providing. You have 30 standard rotations to comply. Failure to appear will result in consequences." The transmission ended. Silence fell across the planet. Then chaos erupted. World leaders gathered in emergency sessions. The United Nations held its longest meeting in history. Scientists worked around the clock to decode the full meaning of the message. Military commanders studied the coordinates and calculated travel times. The public demanded answers that nobody had. For 3 days, arguments raged about how to respond. Some nations wanted to send their best diplomats immediately. Others suggested ignoring the message entirely. A few even proposed surrendering preemptively to avoid conflict. The debates grew louder and more heated with each passing hour. On the 4th day, Fleet Admiral Chen Wei stood before the assembled leaders of Earth. She was 63 years old, with gray hair cut short and eyes that had seen too many battles. Behind her, a massive screen displayed the location of every human warship in the solar system. "We have analyzed the message," Admiral Chen said calmly. "The consortium expects us to come begging. They expect us to send politicians in suits who will smile and negotiate and accept whatever terms these aliens decide to give us. They think we are young and weak and afraid." She pressed a button, and the screen changed to show tactical formations. "I propose a different approach. We do not send diplomats. We send the fleet." "All of it?" The room exploded with protests. Representatives shouted about diplomacy, about peace, about the dangers of provocation. Admiral Chen waited patiently until they exhausted themselves. "I am not suggesting we attack anyone," she continued. "I am suggesting we show them who we are. The consortium has never encountered humanity before. They see a young species that just discovered faster than light travel. They expect us to be timid. They expect us to be grateful for their attention. They are wrong. The vote took 7 hours. In the end, the motion passed by a margin of 3. Humanity would respond to the summons, but not in the way the consortium expected. 2 weeks later, the human fleet departed from Earth's orbit. 17 dreadnoughts led the formation, each one 2 kilometers long and bristling with weapons. Behind them came 42 battlecruisers, 112 destroyers, and over 300 smaller escort vessels. The combined firepower could reduce a moon to rubble in hours. At the center of the formation flew the flagship, the U.S. Defiance. Admiral Chen stood on its bridge, watching the stars blur as the fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed. Her second-in-command, Captain Rodriguez, stood beside her. "Do you think this is wise?" Rodriguez asked quietly. "The consortium has existed for thousands of years. They might have weapons we cannot imagine." Admiral Chen smiled slightly. "Perhaps, but they summoned us, Captain. They expect us to come crawling. I want them to understand something fundamental about humanity. We do not crawl. We never have. We never will." The journey took 12 days. The fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the neutral station system. Sensors immediately detected hundreds of alien vessels. They came in all shapes and sizes, representing dozens of different species. None of them matched the scale of the human fleet. The neutral station itself was enormous. It hung in space like a metal flower, with petals extending in every direction. Lights blinked across its surface. Shuttles moved between docking ports. The station had clearly been designed to impress visitors with its size and complexity. Admiral Chun ordered the fleet to advance in full combat formation. The alien vessels scattered before them like fish fleeing a shark. Warning messages flooded the communication channels, demanding identification and purpose. Chun ignored them all until the fleet had taken position directly in front of the station. Only then did she open a channel to the consortium. "This is Fleet Admiral Chun Wei of the United Earth Navy," she announced. "We received your summons. We are here. We await your counsel." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then a response came through. "You were instructed to send diplomats," a cold voice replied. "You have brought warships. This is highly irregular. This is threatening behavior." "We brought our diplomats," Admiral Chun said calmly. "In our culture, warships are how we negotiate." Another pause. "Longer this time. The council will see you. A shuttle will guide you to the station." Chun turned to Captain Rodriguez. "Keep the fleet at battle readiness. If anything happens to me, you know what to do." Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Yes, Admiral. We reduce this station to atoms." "Exactly." Admiral Chun took a small shuttle to the station, accompanied by a squad of 12 Marines in full combat armor. They were met at the docking bay by a delegation of alien species. Some walked on 2 legs, some on 4, some floated through the air. All of them stared at the humans, with expressions ranging from curiosity to outright fear. A tall creature with silver scales and no visible eyes stepped forward. "I am Secretary Ven. I will escort you to the council chamber. Your soldiers must wait here." "They go where I go," Admiral Chun replied. "This is not negotiable." Secretary Ven hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. "Very well. Follow me." The council chamber was a massive circular room at the heart of the station. 12 platforms rose from the floor, each one holding a representative of a different consortium species. At the center, a single platform waited for visitors. Admiral Chun walked to it without hesitation, her Marines taking positions behind her. High Armator Vox occupied the largest platform. His 6 eyes studied the humans with undisguised interest. "Admiral Chun," he said slowly, "you have created quite a disturbance. Your species was summoned to answer for violations of consortium law. Instead, you arrive with a war fleet. Explain yourself." Admiral Chun clasped her hands behind her back. "The explanation is simple. Your message was disrespectful. You spoke to humanity as though we were children to be disciplined. You threatened us with consequences. You demanded our submission. We do not respond well to such treatment." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Several council members leaned forward on their platforms. "You are a young species," Vox replied, his voice hardening. "You have been traveling between stars for less than a century. The consortium has maintained peace in this galaxy for 10,000 years. You will show proper respect. Respect is earned," Admiral Chun said, "not demanded. And age alone does not command it. Humanity has only been among the stars for 80 years. In that time, we have colonized 47 worlds. We have built a fleet capable of challenging any power in known space. We have done in decades what your species took millennia to achieve." The chamber fell silent. Vox's eyes narrowed. "You speak boldly for a species surrounded by powers far greater than your own." Admiral Chun smiled. It was not a friendly expression. "Do we? Look at your sensors. Count our ships. Then tell me again how surrounded we are." A representative from another platform spoke up. It was a being that resembled a giant insect, with mandibles clicking as it talked. "Your fleet is impressive, human, but the consortium commands millions of vessels. You cannot threaten us." "I am not threatening anyone," Admiral Chun replied. "I am stating facts. You summoned us to answer for developing technology without your permission. We do not recognize your authority to grant or deny such permission. We developed faster than light travel because we chose to. We will continue developing whatever technology we choose. If you wish to discuss trade, alliance, or peaceful coexistence, we are willing to talk. If you wish to issue orders and make demands, this conversation is over. High Arbiter Vox rose from his platform and floated down until he hovered at Admiral Chun's eye level. His 6 eyes studied her face intently. No species has ever spoken to the Council this way, he said quietly. In 10,000 years, every young race has come to us seeking guidance, seeking protection, seeking approval. You come with warships and demands of your own. That is correct. Vox was silent for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. It was a strange sound, like wind chimes in a storm. Perhaps, he said, the consortium has grown complacent. Perhaps we have forgotten that the galaxy was not always peaceful. Perhaps humanity will remind us why species developed weapons in the first place. He returned to his platform. Very well, Admiral Chun. We will not demand your compliance. Instead, we propose a different arrangement. The consortium will recognize humanity as a sovereign power. We will establish formal diplomatic relations as equals. In exchange, we ask only that your species does not destroy everything we have built. Admiral Chun inclined her head slightly. That is acceptable. Earth will send actual diplomats to negotiate the details. They will arrive next month. And your fleet will remain until the negotiations are complete. Consider it insurance. The council members exchanged glances. Some seemed angry. Others seemed impressed. A few even seemed relieved. High Arbiter Vox nodded slowly. We have an agreement, Admiral. I suspect humanity will be the greatest allies when the most dangerous enemies the consortium has ever known. Probably both, Admiral Chun replied. That is also part of who we are. She turned and walked out of the chamber, her marines falling into step behind her. As they boarded the shuttle to return to the Defiance, Captain Rodriguez's voice came through her earpiece. Admiral, the alien vessels are pulling back. They are giving us a wide berth. Good, Chun replied. They are learning. What did the council say? Admiral Chun looked out at the stars as the shuttle rose from the station. Somewhere out there, billions of humans were waiting to hear what had happened. They had sent their best warriors to speak for them, and those warriors had not bowed or begged or apologized. They said welcome to the galaxy, Admiral Chun replied. And they said it very politely. The fleet remained in position for 6 more weeks, while diplomats traveled from Earth to begin formal negotiations. In that time, representatives from 24 alien species requested meetings with the human commanders. They came with questions, with offers, with warnings, and with proposals of alliance. Word spread quickly through the consortium. The humans were different. The humans were dangerous. The humans refused to know their place. Some species feared this. Others admired it. A few began to wonder if perhaps they had been bowing to the consortium for too long. On the day the negotiations concluded, Admiral Chun stood on the bridge of the Defiance one last time before the fleet departed. Earth had secured recognition as a sovereign power. Trade agreements had been signed. Military cooperation treaties had been drafted. Humanity had joined the galactic community on its own terms, not as supplicants, but as equals. Captain Rodriguez handed her a final message from High Arbiter Vox. He says he looks forward to working with humanity, Rodriguez reported. He also says he hopes we never become enemies. Admiral Chun read the message and nodded thoughtfully. Send a reply, she said. Tell him that humanity hopes the same thing. And tell him that if the consortium ever needs warriors to stand beside them, they need only ask. We remember our friends. The fleet turned toward Earth and jumped to faster than light speed. Behind them, the neutral station buzzed with activity as news of the human arrival spread across the galaxy. A new power had risen. A young, aggressive, unstoppable power that refused to follow the old rules. The universe would never be the same. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, Other young species heard the story of the humans who answered a summons with warships. They heard how Earth had stood defiant before an empire that had ruled for millennia. They heard how courage and strength had won respect where submission would have earned only contempt. Some of those species began building their own fleets. Some began dreaming their own dreams of freedom. Some began to wonder what humanity might teach them about standing tall in a universe that wanted them to kneel. The consortium had invited humanity to the galactic stage. They expected servants. They received something far more dangerous. They received equals. And that changed everything.